quest for 100. Set for the introductions. Our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Well, fans, at this time, we present super lightweights in action in this bout coming away, brought to you by Don King Productions and King Vision in association with Showtime Event Television, the MGM Grand and Gold Premium Beer. Now we present the judges appointed by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. We have Bill Graham, Patricia Morse-Jarman, and Dalby Shirley. Introducing to you our referee in charge of this bout, Joe Cortez. All right, fans, here we go with this special attraction coming away, scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. Presenting to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing black trunks with gold trim, joining us from Hastings, Minnesota. He weighed in at 146 pounds. His record includes 22 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw, with 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Larry LaCoursiere. And his opponent across the ring on my right, really needing no introduction the world over. Entering the ring wearing black trunks with gold trim, hailing from Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico. With a weight of 148 pounds, tonight he is seeking his 100th victory. His record stands at 99 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, with 83 knockouts. Here is the 5-time world champion in 3 weight divisions. Please welcome one of boxing's great legends, currently ranked the #1 contender by the WBA and the WBC. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, El Gran Campeón Mexicano, introducing Julio Cesar Chavez. Once again, Joe Cortez, our referee in charge.
Okay, I gave you the rules in the dressing room. Yo leí las reglas en camerino. Quiero una pelea limpia. I want a good, clean fight. I want this trunks a little bit lower here. Okay, very good. It is good. Give me a good, clean fight. God bless you both. Good luck.
Recently, I heard Oscar De La Hoya, a man who's beaten both Chavez and Miguel Angel Gonzalez, say that Chavez is still strong, fast and intelligent, but speed overwhelms him. LaCoursiere told us he intends to use his speed tonight. When he's not in the ring, an extrusion operator. What's that? He does vinyl weather stripping for windows when he's not fighting. Also a frequent marathon runner. He's completed the 26+ mile course in just over 3 hours, so we can at least eliminate stamina as a potential problem. He might have some others, though, against Mr. Chavez.
Chavez has come out uncharacteristically quick. Come right in with a big left hook, pressing the attack a little faster than usual.
A notoriously slow starter.
Looks a little bit better than he has. He's been had a tendency to come in with kind of a little bit of beer fat around him. And he looks like he's pretty trim now compared to the last 2 or 3 times I've seen him. I think he's anxious to get his career back up to 100 and then ended up with big fights rather than these smaller fights.
Well, he's down to 148. He was 151 plus, and he'd been a little bigger than that. So he's not really what we would call trim yet, but he's trimmer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between what he used to, was beginning to look middle-aged.
LaCoursiere told us he'll start out cautiously. The jab will be key. He describes his style as finesse, idolizing Sugar Ray Leonard. Uses lots of speed and jabs. Says speed and movement is the key to beating Chavez, especially over the last few years. He says, I won't stand in front of him, or at least I'll try not to. And LaCoursiere can't run. He's completed 3 marathons.
That's a long time. The marathon's a lot of miles.
Yeah, he's on a marathon right now. He's been running around like he's a long-distance runner, but he's got to stop and fight here.
No matter how well he runs, too, Steve, he's going to have to stop, stand, plant his feet to fire if he's going to be effective.
Once he starts feeling Chavez's thumping hooks to the side, and that's what he's so great at, and then coming up with a hook to the head, it's a different race all of a sudden.
Remarkable 17-year journey for Chavez, went 87-0 before losing. The record for the longest win streak from the start of a career. Stands alone with the most title fights won at 31. Since his first loss in '94 to Frankie Randall, he's 8-1. The other loss, of course, to Oscar De La Hoya. Low blow there by Chavez, as he is wont to do.
That was a little south of the border, and yeah, it's not something that he's unfamiliar with.
Straight right shotgun by Chavez, right on the butt, right on the face of LaCoursiere.
Yeah, LaCoursiere hasn't got a big neck at all. He doesn't look like he could take a very good big punch like this guy. He looks more like a guy more at home with a fencing sword in his hand, doesn't he? He looks like a pirate. He's very thin, very thin.
And he's doing his fair share of moving. The action at this pace will get the crowd into it any minute now.
Final seconds of round one. It's scheduled for 10. As we head to the bell. Let's go over to Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Steve. I'm now joined by Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille's a big fight fan. Shaq, you're a Mike Tyson guy, aren't you? You're here to see Mike.
I am here to see Mike, and I'm here to see Evander. You know, I just want to go out and wish both of those guys well, and I really don't want any of those guys to get hurt. I just want to see a good, clean fight.
Shaq, now you have spent some time with Mike and so forth. What has he told you about this fight? How much has it eaten away at him over the past several months since November?
I met Mike a long time ago, and every time I see him, you know, we show a lot of love towards each other. I mean, you know, we really don't, you know, talk about business, you know, or talk about anything like that. You know, it's just nice to see Mike.
An event like this, does it compare to anything that you see in the NBA, or is it so totally different with everybody here?
This will probably be like the Game 7 of a 3-3 finals. Game 7 on the line.
All right, Shaq, we look forward to seeing you next year with the Lakers.
Eat at All-Star Cafe when you come to Vegas.
Oh, yeah, right. All right, let's send it back out to Steve Albert.
Getting a little plug in there, too. Round two. Not too many punches connected from either fighter in round one, but Chavez did score with a straight right 210 in to probably win that round.
Well, he chased the other guy. The other guy wasn't doing much fighting. LaCoursiere is more intent in getting away than getting there. So you can't win rounds like that. And it's a question of time before he comes down off that bicycle and then starts to feel the real punishment of Chavez, who has heavy hands.
I suspect if he can run a marathon that this bicycle may not end in anywhere in 10 rounds. But he has to stop playing his feet to punch. He can't win without punching, so he has to stop somewhere along the way.
Look out. Chavez normally relying on the accumulative effect, wearing his opponents down, then going in for the finish. With Julio on the verge of 100. In case you're wondering, the most wins by a boxer in the modern era is over 300. A guy named Hal Bagwell, a club fighter during World War II.
He must have been fighting in the morning and in the evening.
Yeah, in terms of Hall of Famers, Willie Pep heading the list with 230 wins.
I think if they were keeping good records, Archie Moore would probably be right up there also. He fought more fights under different names.
The dancing and the backpedaling continues by Larry LaCoursiere from Hastings, Minnesota, a small town on the Wisconsin border, about 45 miles from Minneapolis, St. Paul.
What Chavez probably has to do soon is just start flailing a few shots at the arms, bang off one or two off the top of his head, force him to stay still and fight.
He's certainly trying to cut off the round. He's trying to do it, but this crowd is going to get very unruly here because no action's going on.
And the crowd impatient because of the running tactics here by LaCoursiere, trying to elude those power punches by Chavez. Here's the jab by LaCoursiere, but gets a couple of 2-3 in there and then rolls away, trying to stay on the outside and way outside.
Yeah, this is the type of fight that generally gets the crowds upset. We call these a stinker because, you know, it's not prone to a lot of action, and whatever action there is stops real quick.
Because it's not a fight. It's a survival race. I mean, it's not two guys seeing who's best. It's seeing who can survive. Chavez, that makes a bad fight.
Chavez continues to be on the chase. You get the feeling Chavez will soon shrug his shoulders and say, come on, Larry, let's go. Straight right hand, right on the jaw by Chavez.
he's getting disgusted now.
Yeah, he's very frustrated. A wide left. He gets after the bell. You hear the crowd.
Tú no te vuelvas loco. Cuando entres, trata de meter 3 o 4 manos. Pero no te tires ni nada. Ella se parará.
There's nothing to do but try to come in with your punches. Don't get wild. Don't get wild. One punch at a time is all right. If he's not there, don't throw it. So wait till he's clear and then throw the punch.
La derecha igual, volada también. Pero cuando estés segurito y bien plantado, Vamos.
He doesn't seem too disgusted with the whole thing. He's winning easily. He's not getting hit, but
la presión le vas a cansar, así que se tiene que ir parando.
the pressure will tire him out. Keep the pressure up.
We'll see if the running tactics continue here by Larry LaCoursiere.
Well, I don't see what else he can do. I mean,
Chavez seems to be waiting to find out if LaCoursiere can show him anything as we head into round number 3.
It's a nice little combination here by LaCoursiere, but you know he has no real power on. He's on the balls of his feet on his toes so much that he's not stopping playing and digging. He's not going to hurt Chavez. You can't hurt Chavez, you have a problem.
yeah, because when he throws a punch, he's almost leaving already. It's like, here, I'm gone. I mean, you know, he's not digging in to have an impression with his punches. He's gone as soon as he punches.
Chavez always coming forward.
Oh, nice slow blow by LaCoursiere. Nice slow blow, and on the other side of the referee didn't see it, but you could see it on Chavez's face. He made a face like this hurts.
Chavez a little on the angry side right now. You can see that in his face.
Yeah, he gets angry, Chavez. He gets mean.
And he gets ferocious.
Yeah.
And he really goes to the body. Combination by LaCoursiere. Duck under by Chavez. Chavez looking to cut things off here and just continuing to try and chase down LaCoursiere.
Well, he's stepping up to chasing. Before he was like, you know, in half step. Now he's kind of picking up the movement. Since he got hit low, he started to walk after him a lot stronger.
Straight right hand to the face by Chavez. Watch the heads, the clashing of heads. We've seen that often enough with Chavez.
Well, it was a nice straight right hand. Chavez led with it. It landed, but then he came in behind it, and LaCoursiere banged heads right with him.
It's incredible how Chavez remembers those cuts. First thing he did was go looking for the blood. I mean, he's been cut so many times, things have happened to him. He's thinking about it.
Chavez famous for not wasting punches, economical with his punches. There's a straight right on the face of LaCoursiere. Chavez landing.
That was the first time he was close enough to throw something well. I mean, with steam on it and accuracy. And he's now starting to wear him down.
There's the left hook.
He's starting to get down some of his timing. What Chavez is being forced to do is throw 1 or 2 big shots in counterpunch fashion, because LaCoursiere just running and holding. As soon as they get inside, one shot landed, hold, grab, and run some more.
Chavez's trademark punch is the left hook. To the side, into the head. Helps him set up solid rights.
He still hadn't hardly banged the body. There's a good one to the body. Just as I said that. But he hasn't really worked on the body because this guy's running so much. There's another one.
That one was clean. That was nice. Got in right underneath the elbow.
Did you see him wince, Bobby? Did you see how he went down with that?
Oh, yeah. Those body shots will hurt.
Final seconds of round 3. Stinging punches here by Chavez. Catching LaCoursiere. Combination to the body by Chavez at the bell. Well, if you're wondering about common opponents for Holyfield and Tyson, take a look at this list. Henry Tillman, James Quick Tillis, Pinklin Thomas, Alex Stewart, James Buster Douglas. You get the feeling Tyson remembers that one in Tokyo. 1990, Larry Holmes. Here at the MGM Grand Garden. Facts about rematches. The champions have retained their titles. Close to 80% of the 28 heavyweight championship rematches since 1902. So history is certainly on the side of Evander Holyfield as we get set for the rematch between Holyfield and Tyson after this Chavez fight. And here we go into round number 4. The sellout crowd of better than 16,300 is getting a little anxious, of course. Anything would pale in comparison with what we'll be seeing following this bout. Holyfield Tyson 2.
I think Cesar.
Straight right hand by Chavez, and down goes LaCoursiere. Right on his behind.
An excellent timing shot, Steve. Chavez waited, watched LaCoursiere, went to throw a right hand. Chavez beat him to the punch, used his momentum against him, and down he went.
About 20 seconds into the 4th, a long way to go for this round for LaCoursiere. It was a flash. He got up quickly. But it was right there, right on target. Now more of a sense of urgency. LaCoursiere shakes his head, trying to shrug this off, trying to bide some time here. A minute gone by, he's still got 2 minutes to survive here.
Well, I'll tell you, his legs seem to be on him. He's moving fine. Doesn't seem to have too many ill effects from the knockdown, but down he was.
A one-sided affair here. No title at stake. Julio Cesar Chavez having his way against the running Larry LaCoursiere from Minnesota.
You can characterize that as a flash knockdown, Bobby. I noticed the same thing. I thought he got up very well and started running, so his legs, he's not wobbly. He's not, you know.
That could be a product of the marathoning. His legs in very good shape. There's another straight right. It did have full impact, though, on the face of LaCoursiere, fortunately for him. LaCoursiere showing some defense there, able to elude another right hand by Chavez. Chavez stalking, straight right hand that lands to the face of LaCoursiere.
Not hard, but he is not getting away as easily or frequently as he did before. He's slowed down now. He's taking those bombs on the ropes when he gets there.
LaCoursiere can't win this fight this way. You know, he's just here to survive now. This is not a fight that he can win. He's not putting himself in play. Fighter has to take a chance. He's got to stop. He's got to stand. He's got to score.
None of those things are in his mind.
Combination by LaCoursiere gets the crowd.
He heard me.
LaCoursiere with a right uppercut to the chin of Chavez, who has one of the most solid chins through boxing history.
Now the old Chavez, the faster Chavez, would have taken care of these little punches, would have been counter punches. The older Chavez is not counter punching off these. That's reflex.
He's just a split second too slow for any extra weight. The old timing, everything's gone just a little downhill.
That's what being an old fighter means.
No question, the skills have eroded for Julio Cesar Chavez as we head for the bell.
2 warnings for low blows.
No, the nose ain't bad. It's just a little bit. Just a little water.
Larry, you get your nose.
You don't have to put much in there. Okay. How you doing?
Okay.
Just be careful. You got to keep your hands up. Don't set yourself where he can come in on you. And when you get hit by him once, you can't get away. Just move in and grab a hold. You hear? Let him breathe. Let him breathe.
Let's take a look at the knockdown. Let's see what put down. Look. Oh, well, the right hand right on the button. There's no doubt about that. Look at his face. Ouch, that hurt. And then he got right back up. Bobby.
He slipped the jab nice, and LaCoursiere was ready to throw a right hand of his own, and Chavez got there first. You gets there first, usually gets there best and biggest. And you see it very clearly. Chavez makes the jab, miss, little slip, bang. Just a little slip right over the jab, right on the chin. Perfect timing shot. Not a big punch, but very well timed.
LaCoursiere down 20 seconds into round 4. Spent most of the next 2.5 minutes on his bike.
He was on a motorcycle.
Yeah, it was a Harley. He was fairly effective in staying away from any more big blows as we enter into round number 5.
You know, I would have expected Chavez to try and close a little more, but I'll tell you, he slowed down just a little bit.
No surprise in the online scoring. Chavez up 4-zip. The fans get into it.
Well, it would be impossible for anybody to vote the other way right now.
The only way he can win a round is they take a round away from him, and he's warned it twice already about low blows.
This proves that the fans are paying close attention. With Chavez, is it more mental or is it more physical? Have his skills eroded, or is he just not working as hard as he used to?
I think when you get his age and you've had 100 fights, it's a wear and tear of life in the ring. I mean, he's not as fast, he's not as sure of himself, but that's what happens with those fights. It happened to Ali and Joe Louis and Marciano. My God, it happened to this guy.
Also, how psyched, how motivated could he be against a guy like LaCoursiere?
Yeah, that's true. They don't, but real punches like him have a tendency to go out and finish. You know, like he doesn't want to hang around for 10 rounds. He'll go out and finish.
Some feel he's lost the desire and hunger, which is understandable after over 100 fights.
Well, when you owe the Mexican government a few $1 million, there's a lot of desire building up in there.
Chavez is chasing him a little more quickly, but he's still not putting together enough punches. He needs to make those punches land. You know, ram him off the shoulder, off the side of his head, the neck. Hit him anywhere. Get him to stop moving.
The thing about Chavez is he's got 2 or 3 people that you're dying to see him fight. Frankie Randall is one. Gonzalez is. I'd like to see him fight De La Hoya again without a cut. I'd like to see that go.
Many feel that is highly unlikely, as he is now the welterweight champ. Of course, Chavez, no problem with the weight. Oh, here comes a straight right hand by LaCoursiere that got through the defense, through the gloves.
It was a terrific counter uppercut. Chavez with a right hand. LaCoursiere went underneath, dug up, and hit him with a beautiful right uppercut, but not the power that he needed to hurt him.
But it was a thing of beauty. I mean, that was a good right uppercut.
Of course, every once in a while scores, but being clearly outclassed here by Chavez, even though this is not the Chavez of a few years ago.
Well, when you're as good as he is, the Chavez you see there will beat 98% of the fighters fighting. So, he's not the old guy, but he's still awesome when he gets in with anybody.
Formidable, as we mentioned earlier.
Some of the things that go first with the age are the reflexes and maybe the legs, but the last thing to go is the punch. When you can punch, you can always punch.
He may not,
as George Foreman certainly proved.
He may not quite be ready for the senior circuit, but he's closing in on it. Final seconds, round 5.
Yeah, he's getting frustrated.
Careful! Vamos, papi. Cierra un poquito la boca. No, dame un poquito más seguido. Vamos a poner un poquito más de ganas, ¿eh? No te quedes ahí paradito. Vamos a comerle terreno con las manos arriba.
Exhorting him to put a little bit more energy into it, a little bit more life.
Pero tienes que abrir.
You know, you have to open up now.
Venga, vamos a echarle un poquito de ganas. No te quedes ahí porque el tipo es muy raro.
Don't stay behind because he's running. Come on, it's time to start stepping on the gas.
Campeón ahí arriba, con todo. Vamos.
Give it everything.
Traes todo el caño encima, vamos.
Come on, let's finish this thing off.
Usted está bien. Tira ahí arriba, venga.
Okay, throw to the head. Finish this off. Well, when you look at what Chavez is, they got kind of different opponents, but Gonzalez came out and took care of business. You know, I mean, he had to work hard, he had to take care of business, and now this guy, they're on a collision course. This guy's doing about the same thing. He's got a guy in front of him that's just surviving that fighting, and he's been sent out to destroy. Let's see what he does. You're really looking at the next 2 guys who are going to fight, Gonzalez and Chavez. I, for one, think that'd be a nice blazing fight.
Well, these fights are certainly different from what we will see. This was more of a showcase for both of them, show their skills and prep and tune up for the eventual meeting. But I'll tell you what, Chavez just doesn't have what he used to have. Miguel Angel Gonzalez might have just enough to get by him.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good fight. Very good.
LaCoursiere has traded blows with Chavez to some extent, but he's way behind at this point, halfway through the bout.
Uh-oh, some blood on the eye, right eye of Chavez. He's wiping it off. Nothing bothers him more than that. This guy really hates to get cut. See? He's wiping it off right at the point.
He certainly had his history of cut difficulties. Joe Cortez takes a good look at LaCoursiere's face.
I'll tell you what, some of the blood might be from LaCoursiere's face too, because I saw blood on both fighters. Out of the nose of LaCoursiere. I think that's what got on Chavez.
No, Chavez got a cut problem.
He does.
Yes, he does. He's got one that's bothered him.
Straight right by Chavez that connected to the nose of LaCoursiere. You notice it's picked up here, the sense of urgency. Chavez, blood all over his back from himself and LaCoursiere. Oh, we just got splattered with blood all of our faces.
And our shirts and our paperwork.
I got it right on my lip.
Getting to be a dirty business.
They are both bleeding profusely. And now so are we here at ringside, thanks to these two guys in the ring. Somebody nicely tossed me a towel from the Chavez corner. Jose Buffalo Martin in there. Less than a minute, round 6.
And see, these are the things, these little dramas that Chavez finds himself in. Now he's bleeding. Now the doctor comes in and looks at it. Now he's got another problem. You know, against a guy that's nothing.
Chavez now beginning to look like what he looked like in the last fight with Tony Martin. That was a bloody battle as well.
You know, since the knockdown, LaCourciere's actually gotten a little braver, stopped and fought more often, fired some punches and good combinations back.
Maybe he's emboldened by the blood he sees on Chavez. But he's a lot of blood on him, too.
Straight right hand by Chavez had landed. He missed with the left. You hear the Chavez corner. Combination to the head by Chavez. Missed with that straight right.
He's definitely trying to put him out. Let's see what they say. If we can keep up with a rapid-fire Spanish here, I'll give you more or less what they're saying. Oh, my. Spray of blood.
Vamos a ver. No es nada eso. Ciérralo, Juan. Dame una toalla.
He said to the referee, that's nothing.
Ciérralo. No es nada.
No, it's not. It's nothing. It's nothing, he says.
Julio, presiona este round más. Esta no se acaba la pelea.
All right, he says finish it off this round.
Presiona nada más. Enfríalo.
Just pressure him, and finish it off. Finish it off. Let's not have trouble. Let's go to the blue.
Some water, Bobby. Or Donnie.
Look at me.
Bueno.
Just a little cut on the top of the dog.
All right. Down here. Just a tiny cut.
Let's take a look at that great right hand by Chavez. He's starting to land these things. Boop, right on the forehead. Had that been a little bit lower, could have been something big. Bobby.
Watch that snap back on an extreme close-up. Chavez doesn't get the full right hand in, but he lands right, and that head snaps back. If he'd have got a little closer, maybe 6 more inches, that could have been a knockout punch.
This one has really turned ugly as we enter into round 7. The first visible cuts appeared on both fighters. LaCoursiere came out the worst in the exchange. From LaCoursiere's corner, they're saying keep moving, don't stand still. He's getting tired. Keep your hands up. The stalking rages on by Chavez.
The distance is closing between the two men. The distance is getting close.
Come on. Julio, keep him up, man.
Then one knockdown. 20 seconds into round 3 from a right hand by Chavez.
Nice right hand. Nice straight right hand by Chavez right through the guard.
Chavez continues to apply the pressure.
You know, he's doing what he wants to do. He seems to be a little frustrated, and LaCoursiere's got the kind of style where it's almost impossible to actually look good all the time. He's doing what he has to. I'm sure he's mad about the cut, though.
There's the trademark shot to the body, that hook to the side. Oh,
that's right. Now, if he'd have closed the gap a little earlier and got some of those big shots in, he wouldn't be able to run like this.
Chavez, you'll recall, not long ago, had a head like a rock. It was like impenetrable, but he just keeps bleeding a lot lately.
That's what happens. Once you start getting cut, you start getting scar tissue, and scar tissue pops open. It's not that rubbery stuff that you used to have there, the great skin that he had. Now he's got scars, and scars are brittle. That's what's happening.
Not only that, but he's not 22 years old anymore.
Combination. Vicious combination to the head by Chavez after a lucky punch for LaCoursiere. And again, that's got Chavez angry. LaCoursiere all bloody, bouncing off the ropes. LaCoursiere now starting to get tired. You can almost sense a finish here by Chavez. We'll see.
There you clearly saw a move. Chavez made a slip and a dip to the left side and just couldn't get it off. 5 years ago, that punch was unloaded and maybe 2 or 3 more.
Chavez now sticking the jab.
Twice Cortez has whispered to LaCoursiere, "You're all right?" And he said yes. In other words, are you taking a beating you want to stop? No.
Game.
The cut has not become a factor to Chavez because it's not bleeding badly. Of course, he's not getting hit there either.
Here's a straight right hand by Chavez that snapped LaCoursiere's head back. Smacking right hook by Chavez to the side of the face.
Beautiful left hook around his LaCourciere's right hand and a straight right around up behind it. That's a beautiful 1-2.
That was beautiful. There's another one. Not bad either.
The double jab setting up the overhand right by Chavez.
It's a question how much of these he can take. Those are not small punches.
Holyfield Tyson, the rematch is coming up after this one. Here at the MGM Grand Garden, we'll take you into the locker room of Mike Tyson. Richie Giacchetti said we'll see a new Mike Tyson. Looked like Tyson was yawning. Giacchetti says there'll be 2 new things in the first round, but he would not elaborate. Some feel that we'll be able to tell who'll win by what happens in the first round. Tyson comes in low, bobbing and weaving, doesn't get pushed back. We'll see. Holyfield, Tyson 2 next.
There's an extreme close-up of Chavez throwing a combination, getting a left hook around LaCourciere's right hand and a straight right behind it, right on the jawline. That's what he's been doing very effective the last 2-3 rounds. Beautiful 1-2 lead counter punches.
8th round.
Round number 8. Should Chavez be able to put away a fighter of LaCoursiere's ability? It would be his 100th win. LaCoursiere back on his bicycle. And can you blame him? Even though it's not great for the fans. He's just trying to avoid Chavez any way he can.
I'm sure he doesn't really care what the fans think. He's staying out of harm's way as best he can, any way he can.
I tell you, Bobby, he really does have runner's legs. I mean, he should have been slowed down a great deal from the shots he's taken. He's got great legs.
Well, Chavez hasn't been that effective with the body shots. Freddie, LaCoursiere's moved out of the way quite a bit. And Chavez, let's not forget, is not as crisp and as sharp as he once was.
Double left hook there by LaCoursiere. That looked pretty neat, but did no damage. Combination by Chavez, and that right hand really stung to the face of LaCoursiere. Oh, there's another straight right hand by Chavez. But LaCoursiere able to spin out of there. One thing, as we mentioned, he does have his stamina, so he's hanging around, and he does have the strong legs.
And he's got some pretty good speed, too. Flicks the punches out. They're not big shots, but they're kind of quick.
But there's no power in them, Bobby. There's no power at all.
That's absolutely right.
And you got to have something to keep Julio off.
LaCoursiere down once back of the 3rd round, 20 seconds in from a straight right hand. It was a flash knockdown. He recovered nicely. Jose Buffalo Martin in the background, Chavez's trainer.
Chavez is trying to send a message with that right hand, too. He's trying to sneak a little closer and a little closer. LaCoursiere staying just outside range where it's going to be real effective.
Well, I think this place is filled up to the very tip top. I don't think they can get too many more people in here.
16-3-3-1 plus.
Is that a phone number?
Digging left uppercut by Chavez to the body of LaCoursiere. Nearly a low blow there. LaCoursiere grimace.
Well, this is certainly not a problem for those of you who are scoring fights, because there's nothing happening here but a one-way exhibition.
Final seconds of round 8. It's scheduled for 10, a non-title bout.
Another round like the other one.
Another round, another dullard.
Straight right hand just before the bell by Julio Cesar Chavez. Landed to the feet.
No hay nada. No hay nada. Esto ya nada.
They're looking at the cut. He says, that's the cut. And the guy said, there's nothing. There's really nothing there. So he's still worried about it. But Buffalo says, really, there's nothing there. Now breathe. Take it easy.
No hay nada.
Vamos a estar ocupados este round todo lo más posible, ¿eh?
It's a ninth round. Let's finish good. Do all you can. This guy's bad, but do all you
Vamos a
can.
ganarle los 2 rounds. ¿Oíste? Corre mucho y está bien, pero vamos a ponerle en la carne en el asador, ¿eh?
Since he runs a lot, but he's open. Come on, close the fight. There's nothing really a corner can say to him.
Pon ahí todo lo que tienes mucho, papi. Venga, vamos a ver.
Come on, give him everything you got because you still got a lot left in the tank.
Vamos, venga.
Come on, come on.
Vamos.
Chavez 99, 2-1, going for 100. LaCoursiere 22, 6-1 with just 11 knockouts. Chavez continues to pile up the points. LaCoursiere hasn't shown he has the knockout power. There's a combination right on the nose of LaCoursiere by Chavez.
Chavez wants to close the show. Now you can see he's not desperate, but you can see that he has his mind on stopping this guy.
He's mad. He's almost embarrassed. I mean, here he is, a guy still there that shouldn't be there. That wouldn't have been there 5 years ago. Let's put it that way.
5 years ago, I don't think he would have got outside the 4th round where he was knocked down.
Yeah.
It was only 20-some-odd seconds in.
Again, he's butted again. Now the other side he's butted.
Watch the head, buzz, all right?
The warning to LaCoursiere by Joe Cortez.
And he said, "Está bien," meaning it's okay. Did the champion ex-champion. Chavez, in my mind, is the champion. There's no way to refer to him as anything else.
A champion always in the hearts of Mexico. Combination to the head by LaCoursiere. Continues to backpedal. There's a whipping left hook to the head by Chavez, followed up by a straight right, but that didn't do damage. But these are accumulating. Combination by Chavez continues to wear down his opponent.
And Chavez is just chasing him around, almost walking one foot after the other.
Yeah.
He's just chasing him down. It's almost a solid foot race marathon.
I think he got mad with the butt again. I mean, you know, it's just like he's just trying to run after a guy down the street.
Boy, that left is part of the combination. Snap LaCoursiere's head.
See, it's a nice combination when he stops and fires, but there's no real power on it, and certainly not enough of it.
Straight right hand by Chavez to the face of LaCoursiere. Chavez picks up the tempo. They want him to end it in that corner. I don't speak Spanish, Purdy, but I could sense that's what they're saying.
Well, they sense that he's got it going. He's got the guy. He's hitting the guy, but he just won't not get a solid punch off. And it's just you know, running down the street avoiding somebody.
When you hear the word "vámonos,"
Animo means, you know, energy. Let's get this guy out.
Chavez is falling just short with the right hand. You watch, he looks to use the left hook as a range finder, and he's not quite on his balance. His feet are up in the air a little bit. Cannot quite get that right hand home.
Well, LaCoursiere is taking some kind of beating this round. I mean, it's in flight, but he's eating a lot of punches.
Well, he'll go back to Hastings, Minnesota, perhaps, and say, I went 10 rounds with Julio Cesar Chavez.
All right, quick.
Está bien. Está bien. Tienes que limpiar la cara, güey. Sí.
Abre la toalla.
Levanta la cabeza.
Cierra los ojos. Límpiale. Cierra los ojos.
Te voy a cerrar con la cara para que te caiga la sangre.
Quieto. Cierra los ojos.
Está bien, canal.
Nothing with the cut, nothing on the other side.
Último round, último
No
round.
pasa nada. No hay nada aquí.
All right, let's take a look at the headbutt, and this is Chavez's unfortunate luck. All right, let's take a look from here, and then Bobby look the other way. Now watch, keep your eyes on his head. Boom. No, I don't know, that was it. Well, apparently it was. Let's look at it from the other angle, see if Bobby can sit.
You know, you get an extreme close-up, you'll see right where they land. Chavez comes in, there it is right there. He leans just right into his eye and slammed his head in there. I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose. It's just a matter of he was trying to get out of harm's way and pulled into Chavez's face and hit him in the eye.
Yeah, he did not. That is not a butt like an intentional butt. He got hit and it went into his eye.
No.
They touch gloves for the final round. These two fighters have piled up the miles as they've been circling the ring most of the night. There's been one knockdown back in the third as LaCoursiere went down from a straight right hand by Chavez 20 seconds in. It was a flash.
See, Chavez is just falling short with that right hand. Again, he's just not quite got the range. Of course, they're just a little too quick for him getting out of the way.
Break out, break out, break out. Come on.
Well, I can assure the public at home and here that if this has been kind of a yawn, the next one is going to be anything like this. It's thunder and lightning coming at you.
This crowd ready to erupt for the dramatic rematch between Holyfield and Tyson. That's coming up next after Chavez, LaCoursiere.
See right here at this stage of the game, Chavez not being maybe even not even 90% of what he once was, still 150% of the average guy. But this is kind of a shameful display of what he doesn't have left.
Overhand right by Chavez that staggers LaCoursiere. He stumbled around.
The old Chavez would have jumped on him, mugged him, and it would be over.
That was a strong punch. It just drove him all the way across to the other side.
But those marathon legs of LaCoursiere keeping him up. Combination by Chavez, but glancing blows. Oh, pretty combination by LaCoursiere out of nowhere. Landed.
See, Chavez is making the right steps and moves, but he's a split second off in his timing. It has to do with age and all the ring wars, but just a split second off.
Look at Chavez just shaking his head out of frustration.
He's so frustrated. Excuse me. He's so frustrated. He held his head and punched him. That's not nice.
Under a minute remaining in the 10th and final. The bloody face of LaCoursiere.
Well, as you said, he can go home and say he went 10 rounds with the great Julio Cesar Chavez, and who's to tell him that it was a track meet 10 years from now.
Something to tell your grandchildren.
And your grandchildren say, who's Chavez?
Wouldn't that be
straight right hand by Chavez to the face of LaCoursiere.
LaCoursiere's face looks awful. It looks like it has run a mile of marathons on its own.
Won't be surprised if that nose is busted.
Come on, he says, let's fight or let's go out of here.
He didn't fight for the first 9. Why would he fight in the last one?
Final 9 seconds now. Chavez trying to at least end it with a flourish. A little bobbing and weaving there by Chavez. And that is it. This one mercifully comes to an end. LaCoursiere with a moral victory, surviving 10 rounds with 6-time world champion Julio Cesar Chavez. The bloody nose and the bloody face. So Chavez closing in officially on a milestone, but on a mission to recapture a world championship. Moments away from gaining his 100th career victory. An eye-popping record of 100 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw after Jimmy Lennon Jr. makes the announcement. And looks to pave the way for a dramatic showdown with fellow Mexican Miguel Angel Gonzalez, perhaps in September in Mexico. And that will draw a few people.
The bragging rights for all Mexico.
Well, here he is, arguably the best all time from Mexico. I don't think you'll get too many arguments there.
No, one would just wonder if Salvador Sanchez lived, though, just how great he could have been.
The idol of so many fighters today, the late great Sanchez. But here's Julio Cesar Chavez. If he wants to become a 7-time world champion, it's time to fight either WBA junior welterweight champ Khalid Rahilou of France, or perhaps IBF champ Vince Phillips, who recently upset Kostya Tszyu. How about WBO title holder Giovanni Parisi of Italy, whom Chavez has already beaten. So here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, we're getting set for the decision between Chavez and LaCoursiere, and that'll be followed by what you've all been waiting for, Holyfield Tyson, the rematch. Very unlikely, though, that Chavez will get another crack at WBC welterweight champion Oscar De La Hoya. May not be in the cards. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Judge ringside, Patricia Morse Jarman scores about 99 to 90. Dalby Shirley and Bill Graham both scored the bout exactly the same, 100-89. All three in favor of the winner, el gran campeón mexicano, Julio Cesar Chavez.
So there it is, officially unanimous decision for Julio Cesar Chavez, and he gets win number 100. Coming up next, the main event, Holyfield versus Tyson, the rematch. Let's go behind the scenes into the dressing room of the champion singing.
Fight champion, but even in fights you get cut.
Sí, dile que son peleas de preparación, dile. Cuando llegue la pelea por el campeonato, entonces ya veremos.
He says he will look much better. He'll be much better prepared when he fights for the title.
Yeah, it's a preparatory fight.
Para él, dile, pero difícil para mí, dile que corre mucho.
It was boring for him, but it was difficult for Julio because his opponent ran very much.
What's next, and where do you go from here?
Espera en la próxima pelea.
Me espera la pelea que campeonato del mundo.
World title fight.
Y ahí vamos a ver qué va a decir usted.
And then we'll see
Oye,
what you say, Ferdy.
De ti siempre te digo.